Every girl in Kazuaki's life is convinced she's his number one. His childhood friend rewired her entire personality for him. His classmate thinks they're basically dating. His cousin believes he's madly in love with her. And Kazuaki has no idea any of this is happening because he's too busy studying for exams.
Kazuaki Okabe is a second-year high school student with one goal and one goal only: pass his exams. This guy spends every waking moment studying, during breaks, on the walk to school, literally all of it. He refuses to give in to any worldly desires, and he means it. But there's a problem, and she's sitting right next to him. His classmate Kiara Sano keeps locking eyes with him from across the room, and it's not subtle. She watches him with this soft little smile like she knows something he doesn't. Kazuaki catches her staring, and immediately his brain short-circuits. Is she in love with him? No, he can't think like that. He's got exams to worry about. He barely recovers before the next hit lands. Kiara walks up and admires how he's already studying on the first day of the new term. She tells him he still doesn't have any friends though, and then drops the line. Then I guess, with a look that could kill a man's focus permanently. She says she'll have him all for herself this year again, smiling like a sunflower in full bloom. Kazuaki's face turns beet red, and another girl, Hina Nishina, rushes over asking if he's okay. He tells himself this is just how extroverts behave. Nothing more. Absolutely nothing romantic about it. He is not fine at all. It's their second year in the same class, and once again their seats are right next to each other. Hina cheerfully declares it must be fate at this point. Kazuaki internally screams about why she keeps saying things that lead him on. He tries to tell her it's best she doesn't say stuff like that. Hina asks why, and Kazuaki blurts out that she's cute. The words hang in the air and Hina's eyes go wide with surprise. Kazuaki panics. He'll end up getting the wrong idea if this keeps happening. He retreats, muttering that he just wants to study, while Hina chases after him, demanding to know what he meant. The school day ends, and Kazuaki says goodbye to his friend Aki-kun, glad they got to catch up. He sighs with relief, but it lasts about 3 seconds. A girl named Sano-san appears out of nowhere and asks him to walk home together, and Kazuaki has no idea why. He asks what she wants from him, genuinely confused and a little scared. Sano says she just wanted to walk home with him, nothing more. She asks if she can call him Kazu-kun since his name is Kazuaki. He agrees hesitantly while internally screaming that he has absolutely no idea what this girl is thinking. Aki-kun pops back in with a teasing grin, saying it looks like she wants to be friends. Kazuaki blushes hard as Sano laughs beside him. Then the school bell rings and the thought hits him like a truck. Could it be that she really is in love with him? Another girl calls out his name and the chaos continues. Hina Nishina is back and she's not happy. He even called her cute earlier, and now she's got ammunition. She points out that she's this cute and has a huge chest, and he gets to sit next to her for the second year in a row. She pouts hard and declares she should be number one, right? Meanwhile, somewhere else entirely, a girl with short dark hair is seething. In the past, Kazuaki told her he likes cool people. She's been his childhood friend forever, and she's worked hard to become cooler than any other girl. She's his only childhood friend, so obviously she's his number one, right? Back at home, Kazuaki's cousin Sattorii Inoue shows up. She goes to the prestigious college he's aiming for, and she's his tutor. A lot happened today, so he's a bit out of it, and she suggests they call it quits. But he says no. He wants to keep going a little longer. Sattorii pats his head gently and agrees to push for a bit longer. Kazuaki steels himself internally. That's right. He made up his mind. He won't get the wrong idea again. Not about any of them. This is about studying and nothing else. Sattorii doesn't know about his heartbreak or the chaos at school. She praises his studies and mentions it's a shame he got sick before the last exam. Kazuaki laughs it off, but inside he's clenching. He acts all serious on the outside, but he's just overly self-conscious and can't stop thinking about romance. He calls out to Sattorii Ni in his thoughts, and the weight of it sits heavy. She's the one person who sees him as just a diligent student, nothing more. He wants to keep it that way, even though his head is a complete mess. The gap between who he pretends to be and who he actually is keeps getting wider. Sattorii tells him that's a secret when he asks her something important. She refuses to teach him what he really needs to know and says it's important to desire things every now and then. Then his phone buzzes with a message, and she notes how unusual that is. Kazuaki wonders what's going on. Sano-san has texted him asking for his contact info. He stares at the phone in disbelief. What in the world is happening? Sattorii bonks him on the head with his phone and tells him to come on. He's not focused at all. The study session is falling apart, and it's only the first day. The older girl with wavy hair, the one who thought he liked smart and mature girls, is reeling. He kept singing her praises, so she assumed she was his type. She's known him since he was a baby and thought she understood him the most. Every signal she read might have been completely wrong. The childhood friend remembers how she transformed herself to match what he said he wanted. She became cool, composed, everything she thought would make her stand out. And yet here she is, watching other girls close in from every direction. The confidence she built is starting to crack. Kazuaki stands alone, thinking about all of them. Kazuaki, Aki-kun, Okabe. Every girl in his life sees a different version of him, and none of them see the whole picture. He's surrounded by girls who might actually be in love with him, and he's too busy studying to deal with any of it. But the semester just started, and this is only the beginning. Kazuaki sits in class thinking about Hina Nishina, the girl who sits next to him. She's the only one who talks to him in class, cheerful, cute, and kind. And that's exactly why he knows he needs to be careful, because those are the exact traits that mess with a guy's head. Sano-san catches him staring and asks if they're close. Kazuaki is confused. Close? He feels like he's just being observed, not having a friendship. She stares at him silently until he panics and asks if he was bothering her, and she calmly says no, she was just wondering why he keeps looking her way. Meanwhile, Hina's friends corner her in the classroom, asking if she's close with Okabe-kun. She brushes it off, saying they just sit next to each other and she can talk to pretty much anyone. But her friend drops the bomb. Okabe-kun is for sure in love with her. Hina's eyes go wide, and she shuts it down fast, insisting there's nobody like that. But that reaction says everything. Kazuaki notices Sano-san and Okabe talking across the room, and even he thinks it doesn't seem like there's anything romantic between them. Just as he's thinking that, Sano-san and Kazuaki are spotted talking together, and other students call it a rare sight. Hina watches from across the room, telling herself she's known him way longer. Hina struts over with full confidence, declaring that when Kazuaki needs to talk, he knows who to come to. She tells him he can talk to her about anything, twirling her hair with a smug grin. The energy shift in the room is immediate, and she's making sure everyone sees her claim her territory. Then Kazuaki does the worst possible thing. He turns to Hina, blushing, and mutters asking if she thinks Sano-san likes him. Hina freezes. He's obviously thinking about another girl, and until yesterday, he was calling Hina cute. The whiplash hits her like a truck, and she can barely process what just happened. Kazuaki tells Hina she's the only one he can talk to about these kinds of things, and thanks her for it. He's relieved, thinking he's found a confidant, completely oblivious to the damage he just caused. Hina repeats his words in her head, the only one, and her expression shifts into something complicated and raw. Hina walks home replaying the whole thing. He's close to girls other than Sano-san, and not to mention there's a childhood friend in the picture too. She's only been in the same class as him for a year, and she just happens to talk to him a bit more than the others. The gap between what she thought they had and what they actually have is starting to sink in. Hina cheerfully says goodbye to Kazuaki and Rui-kwan at the railroad crossing, waving with her usual bright energy. Kazuaki stammers a goodbye while Rui heads off in her direction. The two of them walk together into the evening, and Hina watches them disappear down the road with a smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes. Kazuaki explains that Rui-kwan is his childhood friend who lives nearby, a year below them. Hina perks up and asks if Aki-kun is getting along with everyone in class, saying she's worried about him. She reminds him that he spent all of elementary school with just her, and the weight of that history hangs between them. Then Hina spots another girl walking with Kazuaki, and her alarm bells go off. Who's that? She's super pretty. Kazuaki introduces her as Nishina-san from his class, and Hina's shock is immediate. The childhood friend's carefully maintained composure cracks as she realizes the competition just got a whole lot bigger. Hina's friend teases that there's no way Kazuaki doesn't like her, and Hina declares she knew it. She's number one in his heart. It's obvious to everyone around them. She spots Kazuaki on her way home, and her confidence soars. She calls out to him, cheerful as ever, completely unaware of what's coming. Kazuaki apologizes for the random question, but since he ran into her, he figures he'll ask now instead of tomorrow. He wants to know if she'd like to study together on Saturday. Hina's face goes blank for a second. She wasn't expecting this at all, and the word "but" starts forming in her mind before she can stop it. Hina's internal monologue kicks into overdrive. He's totally into her. She knew it. He's being so forward, asking for a study session instead of a date, and that's so like him. She says sure with a big smile, and Kazuaki breathes a sigh of relief while she announces she's looking forward to it. We flash back to Rui's childhood, where a young Kazuaki told her he thinks a cool name is nice. Little Rui beamed. He likes cool things, and her name is cool, so he must like her. Ever since that day, that single offhand comment rewired her entire identity and set her on a path she's still walking. Rui arrives at school and everyone is already buzzing about her. They call her Rui-sama, gushing about how cool she is, how she was the ace of the volleyball club in middle school, how she might be a model. She absorbs all of it with a calm expression, internally affirming, that's right, she's cool. And that's why Kazuaki will notice her. The next morning, Rui approaches Kazuaki at the school gate, calling out to him. His classmates are shocked. A second year and a first year know each other? She greets him with a sparkling smile, and he says morning back. She tells everyone he's her childhood friend, and the crowd squeals while Kazuaki thinks, at least this much is fine. Kazuaki watches Rui walk away with the other girls and thinks she's gotten even cooler and more popular since he last saw her. He tells himself there's no need to be anxious about it, because the two of them have a special bond as childhood friends. That word, special, carries more weight for one of them than the other. Kazuaki invites Rui to a study session at his place, and her eyes light up like fireworks just went off inside her head. Aki-kun's home. She hasn't been there since elementary school. She's thrilled, already telling herself she believed in him, that even if he got close to other girls, his childhood friend would still be number one. Sano-san asks Kazuaki if he invited Rui to the study session, and he confirms, yeah, he did what Sano-san told him to do, and invited Nishina and the others too. Sano points out that he doesn't actually know Rui, and asks if he's okay with that. Kazuaki admits it wasn't easy inviting all those girls over, but thanks Sano with a grateful grin. The study session is set, the girls are all coming, and not a single one of them realizes they're walking into a battlefield. Sano-san asks Kazuaki why he had her do the inviting instead of just doing it himself. He tells her there's no point in him doing it, but for some reason, when Sano-san asks him to do something he can't refuse. She looks at him softly and says it's because it's him, Kazu-kun. He has no idea what that even means, but the weight of her words lingers. Kazuaki remembers telling everyone they'd be studying at his place, and now the day has arrived. He forgot to mention it was Sano-san's idea to invite the others, and figures it'll be fine. But at this moment, none of them knew that a battle was about to take place. Meanwhile, Hina is replaying Kazuaki's invitation in her head, studying at his house, their first time meeting outside school. She thinks it's kind of forward for someone like Okabe, but tells herself she's not easy and nothing will happen. Still, she decided to wear a cute matching set of underwear, just in case, insisting she'd never actually show him. Hina meets Kazuaki at the station that morning, apologizing for keeping him waiting. She had a feeling this wouldn't be a one-on-one hangout. There's no way Okabe would try that. She knew Sano-san would show up too, and blames herself for not asking who else was invited, but also wishes he'd told her. The girls arrive at Kazuaki's place, and Hina cheerfully announces she's pretty used to visiting boys' houses. Sano-san calls it a big fat lie, saying it's her first time. Kazuaki insists it's not impressive and demands to know why he'd have to lie about it, while Hina calls Nishina-san impressive with a teasing grin. The front door opens and the girls thank him for having them, hearts pounding. Rui was the first to arrive and has been waiting in Kazuaki's room alone, and she's not happy about it. She was super lonely by herself for over 10 minutes while he went to pick up the other girls. She gushes about how the room looks exactly the same and how it's just the two of them, but Kazuaki immediately dashes off to get the others, leaving her stunned. He returns with Hina and the rest, and Rui spots another girl already inside. Wait, there's another one? Rui scolds him for leaving her there while he went to collect more girls. She tells him it was mean, and he sheepishly apologizes. The childhood friend's territory is being invaded, and she didn't even get a warning. Hina is shocked that Rui has been to his house many times before, and that they're childhood friends from way back. Rui explains that he always ends up spoiling her since they've known each other forever. She pouts with a quiet humph, already staking her claim, and the tension in the room starts building before anyone even opens a textbook. Sano-san shyly offers snacks she brought for everyone, pulling out a mountain of chips and treats. The girls are excited, but Kazuaki declines. He's going to focus on studying and tells the three of them to enjoy the snacks without him. Everyone stares at him, wondering what's wrong with this guy who invited girls over just to ignore them. Kazuaki tells himself this was for the best and that at least things won't get weird now. But then he accidentally glances over and catches a flash of something he shouldn't have seen. He whips around, blushing furiously, and stammers an apology. Hina forgives him since it was an accident, noting she wore a cute pair today, while everyone else screams that there's nothing good about any of this. The study session continues, but the chaos doesn't stop. Hina starts feeding Rui snacks, and both girls are munching away together in a weirdly intimate moment. Rui thinks the food tastes better when someone else feeds it to you, while Hina secretly wanted to be the one feeding Kazuaki instead. He watches from across the table completely baffled. Rui decides she's had enough of watching Kazuaki get sandwiched between two beauties and declares she'll put a stop to it. She asks if she can join in too, sparkling with determination. Hina panics and insists it's not like she's in love with him or anything, then redirects the snacks toward Rui instead, since Okabe said he didn't want any. Kazuaki looks up and sees Sano-san sitting beside him, and he's blushing like crazy. Hina catches his expression from across the room and freezes. Why does he look so happy about it? The jealousy hits her instantly, and she can barely contain it, wondering why he's making that face for someone else. Meanwhile, Sattorii arrives at Kazuaki's house, knocking on the door with a smirk. She's been looking forward to this, being all alone in his room with a high school boy who's head over heels for her. The naughty cousin is ready to have some fun tormenting a young adolescent boy, and she's not holding back. But when Sattorii walks in, she's greeted by a room full of girls surrounding her cousin. She came here to help him study, not to check out his harem. She declares she's not taking part in any immoral relations, while the girls smile and thank her for helping out. Sattorii is so bright with rage that Kazuaki can barely look at her. Kazuaki introduces everyone. Sattorii Inoue is his cousin and tutor. Nishina and Sano-san are classmates, and Rui is his childhood friend. He apologizes for asking Sattorii to come earlier than usual, but wants her to help everyone with their homework too. Sattorii stares at the situation with a quiet, clearly processing the battlefield she just walked into. We cut to Sattorii's college life, where she sits alone in a lecture hall watching flashy, outgoing students make plans for karaoke. She rages internally about couples on campus, calling them shameless delinquents, and declaring it collective public indecency. College isn't cheap, and their parents would cry, she fumes, completely disgusted by romance happening around her. But then she catches herself. That said, she's about to go have a one-on-one tutoring session with a high school boy in his room, and it's a boy who's head over heels for her. She smirks with a self-satisfied ready to enjoy tormenting Kazuaki, completely unaware that the dynamic she's walking into has changed entirely. Sattorii knocks on the door, and Kazuaki lets her in, and the first thing she notices is the crowd. Her fantasy of a private tutoring session crumbles on the spot. The naughty cousin energy evaporates as she realizes she's now just another woman in a room full of girls who all have their sights set on the same oblivious boy. Back in his room, Rui takes charge and announces they should get started studying. The textbooks come out, the snacks are spread across the table, and every girl in that room is carrying a secret she thinks nobody else knows about. Kazuaki sits in the middle of it all, focused on his notes, completely blind to the war that's about to erupt around him. Sano-san notices something is off between Kazuaki and Hina in the classroom. She asks if something happened between them, but both of them turn away awkwardly and insist nothing happened at all. The silence between them says more than any words could, and Sano watches them with quiet curiosity. Hina finally speaks up, saying she's fine and apologizing for not talking to Kazuaki much lately. She wanted to have a chat and ended up dragging him somewhere without thinking. She teases him, asking if he got nervous, then laughs it off. But when she catches him blushing, her own face starts to flush. Because what actually happened was a disaster. Hina panicked and hid inside a locker, pulling Kazuaki in with her without thinking. Now they're pressed together in total darkness. His face inches from hers, and she can feel his breath on her skin. She wanted to be alone with him, but she definitely didn't plan for things to go this far. Hina's heart is slamming against her ribs as their bodies press together in the cramped space. She wanted to joke around like she always does, but she didn't plan what she was going to say. The closeness is overwhelming, and every small movement sends her brain into overdrive. This is way beyond what she bargained for. She tries to recover, asking if they started dating as a joke, but Kazuaki takes it at face value and cheerfully announces that yeah, they actually started dating yesterday. Hina freezes. He says it so casually, so happily, and she can't tell if he's playing along or if he means something else entirely. The next day at school, Hina asks Kazuaki if he has some time after class. He barely has a chance to respond before the bell rings, and she grabs him by the arm and drags him down the hallway at full speed. The classroom door slides open and they disappear together, leaving everyone staring. Kazuaki stands in the hallway processing what just happened while girls nearby gossip and laugh. He overhears them saying Sano-san is a good girl and he doesn't hate her, but then Rui appears calling him Kazu-kun while Hina calls out Oka at the same time. The classmates gasp. Kazu-kun? She's using his first name? Do they think those two started dating? Ever since the study meeting, things have shifted between everyone. It feels like Kazuaki and Sano-san have gotten closer, and Hina notices it immediately. She tells herself she has friends she can talk to, but the little conversations she enjoyed having with Kazuaki between classes, those felt special, and now they're slipping away. The girls all agree they should hold another study meeting sometime. Sano-san was so good at teaching and Sattorii made everything easy to understand. Hina even jokes about doing it at her place next time. Day after day since Sano-san first spoke to Kazuaki, the dynamics have been quietly shifting around him. Sattorii watches the study session unfold and feels a warmth she didn't expect. She reassures herself that Kazuaki likes studying and he likes her. He's still innocent, not some womanizer. She's the only one who truly knows the real him, and she could never be disappointed in him. She declares they won't leave until everyone grasps the material. Kazuaki thanks Sattorii sincerely, catching her off guard just as she was about to scold him for bringing girls home. He tells her it was his first time holding a study meeting, and he wasn't sure what to do, but he's really glad she showed up to help. Sattorii softens instantly, and the others ask if this was really his first time doing this. Sattorii takes charge like the college student she is, pulling out test prep workbooks and distributing them to the group. She tells everyone to work through one page and save questions for later. Kazuaki watches her transform into full tutor mode, amazed. Then she turns to him with an intensity that makes the whole room go quiet. Sano-san approaches with a question, and someone notices she looks like she's been crying. She claims her contact lens is just out of place, but the truth is heavier than that. Her whole identity feels like it's crumbling. When Sattorii asks which part she needs help with, Sano quietly answers, all of it. Sattorii snaps. She wants in on whatever's happening with Kazuaki and these girls. She demands to know which part of the workbook they need help with, grabbing Kazuaki in a headlock. Then, a girl politely asks about a problem she doesn't understand, and Sattorii shifts gears, wondering if these cute girls are also smart. If they're cute and smart, she fumes. What's the point of just being smart? Sattorii's paranoia hits maximum. She thought Kazuaki was a loner like her, so why does he have all these women around him? That message on his phone the other day, was it from one of these girls? She stares at Rui, Hina, and Sano-san with wild eyes, trying to figure out which one he's closest to. The question burns through her. Which one did he do it with? We flash forward to Sattorii congratulating Kazuaki on passing his exams, cherry blossoms falling around them. She tells him he worked really hard and offers him a little reward from her. Then she starts undressing right in front of him. She thought her reward would help him graduate from being a virgin, and Kazuaki screams in absolute shock. Kazuaki thanks her and tells her to just start the lesson, and Sattorii is internally devastated. She thinks back to when he was a kid, sitting beside her on the couch, calling out Sattorii over and over. He was the only boy who truly acknowledged and respected her, and he looked at her with pure admiration. He was madly in love with her, wasn't he? The reality of the study session crashes down on everyone at once. Hina and Rui are gloomy, realizing Kazuaki had a gorgeous college-age tutor helping him this whole time. She's a total beauty, she seems nice, and her figure is unreal. Both girls sink into a silent despair, while Kazuaki has no clue why the mood just died.